How's everybody doing this morning? And it is a great day to have a great day. So I wanted to talk about how it might feel when you're first starting out as a photographer or videographer. For those of y'all who don't know, I am a photographer and videographer out here in Sarasota, Florida. And I am giving you a little bit of information as to how I got started and some tips and tricks that may save you some time. So first off, when I first started out in photography and things like that, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of cash. I just knew that I was getting out of doing music, was no longer filling my creative space that I used to have. So I was looking for a whole new outlet. So I picked up my first camera. Well, it's not really my first camera, but my first semi-professional camera, at least for that time. It was a Canon M50 Mark II. Now, this baby at the time was amazing. It did all the things, the bells and the whistles and all that. I'm not gonna get into the technical specs of it because you didn't come for that. Most of you who are watching this are probably new. So it was phenomenal. It was my gateway into really taking myself seriously and starting to learn the ins and outs of the cameras and things like that. Way back in the day, I had a Canon T3i that I purchased to do music videos for friends, but the friends turned out to never do the music videos. It was just all talk. So it just like sat in my closet until I gave it to one of my friends. Anyway, so tip number one, if you're trying to get into something, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Yes, there is a cost barrier to entry for photography and videography, but it's not as much as you think, especially when you know how to work the system. So I can honestly say, I think there's only 2, maybe 3 items that I've ever purchased brand new in photography. And only one of them was a lens. I bought camera bodies, I've bought lenses, I've bought gimbals, I've got drones, I've got all these type of things that I got secondhand. One of the biggest places and platforms that I purchased from was eBay, and simply because it had like a money back guarantee. So if I was to buy something, it didn't work for whatever reason, I knew that I was able to get my money back, no hassles, no problem. It may take a little while, but I was gonna get it. So you don't have to go spend a ton of money. Now, with that being said, you do need to do your research to know what you're looking for when you are going to these secondhand items. Most of the gear that these professionals have, I promise you, are secondhand items. Not too many people, especially starting out, can justify spending $1,500 to $1,600 on a body and then turn around and spend that much, if not double, for a lens. It just doesn't make sense, especially when you're just starting out and you're learning your craft. So secondhand is your best option. And talk, negotiate, trade, things like that. I've done that several times, and I was able to get a lot of good quality gear just because I did my research and I was looking around. Now, with that being said, learn your specs. Learn the things that you need to learn to make sure that the product that you're getting is actually functional. It has to make sense, it has to work, it has to make all the check marks, okay? Go on places like eBay, Facebook Marketplace if you're feeling risky, but you know, Poshmark, thrift shops. I found a lot of good stuff and a lot of good gear at thrift shops, so don't knock it. The point of the matter is, if there's a will, there is a way. So get out there, start getting creative, start doing what you need to do, and let that camera and all that gear that you buy start making money for you. It's not about how much money you got, it's about like what you got up in here. So remember that. Y'all have a wonderful day. Start creating.